the Ottoman Empire, a name that echoes through history. For over 6 centuries it stood as a dominant force. From the Balkans to North Africa, its reach was vast, its influence undeniable. Today we journey through the rise and fall of this mighty empire. Imagine a world where East meets West, where cultures blended and knowledge flourished. This was the Ottoman Empire at its peak. It controlled vital trade routes. It fostered a rich tapestry of art, architecture, and literature. But like all empires, it had humble beginnings. It all started with nomadic tribes in Anatolia. Little did they know they were about to build an empire that would change the course of history. The Ottomans were not just conquerors, they were builders, patrons of the arts, and shrewd administrators. Their story is one of ambition, faith, and ultimately, the passage of time. Let us begin. Our story begins with Osman I. A charismatic leader, he united the Turkish tribes of Anatolia. Under his banner, they embarked on a series of conquests. Their goal? To carve out a realm for themselves. Osman was a brilliant tactician. He understood the importance of cavalry. His soldiers, mounted on swift horses, were a force to be reckoned with. They swept through Anatolia, defeating rival beyliks one by one. Osman's successors continued his legacy. They pushed further into Byzantine territory. Each victory brought them closer to Constantinople, the ultimate prize. The once mighty Byzantine Empire trembled at the approaching Ottoman storm. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations. The early Ottomans were driven by a potent mix of faith and ambition. They believed in their destiny. They were determined to create a powerful Islamic empire, and nothing would stand in their way. The year is 1453. A young sultan, Mehmed II, sets his sights on Constantinople, the last bastion of the Byzantine Empire. A seemingly impregnable city, it had stood for 1,000 years. But Mehmed was determined to succeed where others had failed. He laid siege to the city. His army bombarded the massive walls with cannons. The defenders fought bravely, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. After weeks of fighting, the inevitable happened. Constantinople fell. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves throughout Europe. It marked the end of an era. The old order was crumbling. And in its place, a new power was rising. The Ottomans were now masters of the Eastern Mediterranean. Mehmed entered the city in triumph. He declared himself Caesar of Rome. It was a bold statement, a sign of the Ottomans' growing ambition. They were no longer a frontier state. They were an empire to be reckoned with. Section 4. Suleiman the Magnificent Zenith of the Ottomans. The Ottoman Empire reached its zenith under Suleiman I, known as Suleiman the Magnificent. A skilled warrior and a wise ruler, he presided over a golden age of expansion and prosperity. His reign was marked by military triumphs, legal reforms, and cultural achievements. Suleiman's armies were unstoppable. They conquered vast swaths of territory in Europe, Asia, and Africa. From the gates of Vienna to the sands of Arabia, his name inspired both awe and fear. But Suleiman was more than just a conqueror. He was a patron of the arts. Under his rule, Ottoman architecture, literature, and music flourished. He commissioned magnificent mosques, palaces, and bridges. His court was a center of learning and intellectual discourse. Suleiman's reign was a time of unprecedented power and prestige. The Ottoman Empire was at the height of its glory. It was a beacon of civilization, stretching from the Atlantic to the Indian Ocean. The world had never seen anything like it before. Section 5. The Long Decline, Internal Strife and External Threats. The golden age of the Ottomans could not last forever. After Suleiman's death, the empire began a slow decline. A series of weak sultans, coupled with internal corruption and economic stagnation, weakened the once mighty state. The Janissaries, once the elite fighting force of the empire, became more interested in palace intrigues than defending its borders. The once efficient bureaucracy became riddled with corruption. Meanwhile, external threats emerged. European powers, fueled by the age of exploration and the Industrial Revolution, grew in strength. They challenged Ottoman dominance in the Mediterranean. The Ottoman Empire was no longer the undisputed power in the region. It faced enemies on all sides. The once mighty empire was now struggling to hold on to its vast possessions. The seeds of decline had been sown.